GM. It is Monday, and good way to start the week. Talking a little bit about brain health. Talking a little bit about what's happening in Cerebrum DAO. And Mark, how are you today? How is everything going? Excited to deep dive into. You guys had a quite 2025, so I'd love for you to give us some of that, like what was it like? What were you guys doing? How did you guys get to where you are today in 2025? And then let's talk a little bit about the future. What's happening in 2026? What are you guys cooking? All these product announcements that we have coming up. So, Mark, how are you today?
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on today again, George. It's been great working in 2025. We know a lot of the markets have been down, and we've been basically just continuing to build. Like our mission at Cerebrum DAO is to basically solve neurodegeneration. We envision a world of only healthy brains. And one way we want to get there is through consumer product integration. So I've been working on the building of our products, Cognition and Cortex, and then also the deal flows. So I've been bringing mechanisms to neurodegeneration. And with our products, we're building ways for people to basically understand their brain health, understand how their brain is changing over time, and then giving them interventions through supplements, apps, and other neurotech devices to help affect their brain health. And we're tying this into a neuron token ecosystem so that the neuron, our token, is really there for cerebrum, and then also being used to create price reductions and get discounts on interventions that are assisting where brain health and crypto are really intertwined with one another. So like basically the more interactions that we have with the product ecosystem, the better your brain health is.
I think we got most of it, Mark. But I do think that you're. I think we're having a little bit of connection issues right now. I might have lost you towards the end. I don't know if you want to give a quick check on the browsers or anything that you have open. I don't know if the internet's slowing down, but I do see you be frozen right now. So we seeming we have a little internet connection issue there.
Back.
Are you there, Mark? Pretty frozen for me, Mark. I don't know if you're catching it via. Well, while we get Mark going, I know that you guys again had a really awesome kick 2025. I saw that Cerebrum DAO posted a great year in review. For those that are checking it out, make sure you head over to their Twitter account. It's Cerebrum DAO Cerebrum DAO, and then definitely check out their 2025 year in review. Again, 4 tokenized research projects that they launched. Raised 1.4 million through the IPT tokenization. First tokenized brain health supplement entering to clinical trials. Major research breakthroughs with the Fission Bio, and also a couple of other researches that they have put together. And then at the end of the day, the Cortex app that they are working with as well. So I think 2,000 signups is huge for our space, and it's really cool to see what you guys are doing and everything that's happening over there. So if you guys haven't checked it out, definitely go check out their 2025 a year in review. It's one that I think it's worth seeing, and I think it's worth understanding what's the future going to come to. So yeah, hopefully I get Mark back here on stage. and bring him back and be able to kind of talk a little bit about 2025. Can you, Mark, maybe now that you're here, you're back, give us a little quick TLDR on 2025. I mean, it was just some great numbers for a real, like, a year to be building, right? I saw that, the 4 tokenized launches, and then of course 1.4 million through the IPT tokenization, and then there was the first brain health entering clinical trials. You guys had 2,000 signups on the Cortex app. Like, they were just massive numbers for 2025. Maybe walk us through a little bit of that before we head into the 2026 talk.
Yeah, so we kicked off 2025 wanting to execute on the new projects that we're building. So we worked with the Bio Launch platform to bring out a couple new IPTs, for example, Vision Bio. Also looking at things like mitochondrial dysfunction and new ways that we can affect brain health and neurodegeneration. So we were effective in launching those tokens, and now 2026 is really about translating a lot of that into research findings. So we're looking to start recruitment for our supplement research study this year. So we're working last year on the study design, getting approvals of IRB. And now 2026, we're looking to kick off the study recruitment, collect data, get results, and then present that to the community. So 2025 was always a great time to get a lot of funding into the projects. We started execution on a couple of projects, and now the team is really focused on seeing those projects through, building value for those IPT projects in 2026. But 2025 was really a good foundational year where we took the treasury that we had built in the previous launch and started to translate it into projects. So just going one after another, reviewing translational neuroscience projects, getting the best ones into the funding pipeline, and now getting them into the project pipeline.
What do you think's been the toughest part of 2025? I mean, it's good, great. Also, I always love to hear like all the great and everything, but I think in all of this, it's a lot of trials and tribulation to a lot of it. What's one thing that you guys have really 2025? There was an obstacle, and you guys have been able to overcome it, or something to share, so that those that are building in this space maybe have a heads up onto what's the best way to navigate it.
So I think you have to build the projects for the higher purpose of the DAO, right? And not be too worried just about the token price or the overall market dynamics. So of course, back in December of 24, we had pretty high market. Things were very positive. Then there was general decline in 25 for various reasons. But just because your token price goes down doesn't mean that you should stop building or stop community growth. I mean, it's the exact time when you should be putting in the time to build the foundations for that project, because those will ideally be realized in later markets, bull markets. And the whole purpose of these DeSci projects is to raise money to translate into scientific funding. So, we were trying to not worry too much about the token price in 25, because that was the biggest impact that a lot of DAOs saw. Because if you build value, even when things are hard, it's just going to be a huge multiplication when things get positive again and the market starts to rebound.
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing is, again, just understanding that, like you just said, understanding the token, and understanding, hey, if it is down, that doesn't mean really anything. It's just part of the cycle in life, and especially in Web3, you got to keep still building. Let's jump in a little bit into the 2026 and to a little bit of the products. And you mentioned a little bit of what 2026 is going to be like, but break us down for us. What exactly are we signing up for? What exactly some of the trials are going to be coming up? What does that mean? And at what stage does the trials now, for human to be involved in your trials? Give us a little bit more of the insights of the 2026 products and the research that's coming in.
Yeah, so human clinical trials are extremely important with brain science and research because they want to test in individuals how interventions are really affecting the brain. So I really work on developing a clinical trial or brain health supplement for cognition. And it's a randomized human trial. So our goal is to really collect data about the blood, collect data about the brain during this intervention time period so that we can really see and validate what products are really going to work for people. And then we can accelerate them in the market. And this goes parallel to our product strategy. The strategy is built around brain measurement. So really understanding how your brain is changing over time. With the Cortex app, this is an application where people will be able to perform brain health measurements using cognitive assessments and also by collecting wearables data. We're also looking to translate things from our clinical trial, like how to do blood measurement of p-tau. This is a protein in the brain, which is indicative of brain aging. So we're really building Cortex as an application to help measure the brain over long time periods. And it's going to be integrated with the NEURON ecosystem. So when you're giving brain data access to Cerebrum, you're being rewarded for that with NEURON tokens. Then we have the Cognition web store or hub. And this is a place for brain health education, as well as access to products that we have been verifying through our Cerebrum process. So this includes things like the Exponetic app, which is an app that helps to manage your lifestyle and your brain health. So it's basically giving you the ability to know how to make the right decisions to improve your brain health with focus and really paying a holistic attention to your brain. Then we have our supplement stack. So the Cerebrum stack is also a curated list of supplements where we're either doing clinical trials on the supplements or we've done the background research and we feel that there's enough clinical trials already to really support the claims of those supplements. And then in the Cognition Store, you can use the neuron that was derived from the brain health data to get reductions on those supplements. So we really are trying to build a flywheel ecosystem with brain health and neuron so that people can basically improve their lives, improve their brain health and of those around them, and that we do it by collecting data, showing how it works, and then sharing that essentially to the world. So these two products, Cognition and Cortex, are building foundation. We're releasing the first versions in 2026 Q1. And as we grow, the more brain data that we have, the better we're going to understand brain health in general. And that's going to lead to new product developments, new ideas for translational research that can then feed into our translational neuroscience pipeline. So 2025 was about building and setting up projects and starting to execute. 26 is about executing on the foundations of brain health so that we can bring in people from all throughout the ecosystem. It's really important to go beyond the Web3 user and bring in people who don't know anything about crypto. It's all about improving their brain health. But the neuron is the thing that is the economic engine that is helping to support the entire cycle of brain health research and brain data.
Mark, I got a question for you because I mean, I think like, as you kind of talk about a little bit about the supplements and you've talked a little bit about the app, what is it in Web 2 that there are several supplements out there? What is it from them, those supplements out there that differentiate yourself from what you're building here and what you're bringing to product and to market? And maybe talk to us a little bit first about from a supplement standpoint, but going into the app as well.
So there's a lot of supplements, and I think one of the key problems that we have is understanding what's the roadmap. What's the roadmap of longevity, or what's the roadmap of your brain? So we really are starting from the research perspective of thinking about how your brain is aging and what supplements will probably make sense at different points in time. So the point of a brain is that each brain is individual and unique, and we want the ability to give the right supplements to the right people at the right point in time in their brain longevity cycle. And this is the whole point of collecting brain data so that we can help people understand how their brain is changing and then understand how to affect and improve it. And that's a big difference from just buying a supplement on Amazon and trying it a few times and not really understanding if it's having an effect or not. So I want people to have that confidence that the choices that they're making are improving their lives. And if they're not improving their brain health, then they also can stop it. So we're looking to a future where the Cortex App and Cognition Store are leading to personalization of brain health journeys so that people can measure and affect their brain health. And that's usually the big difference from just having a store selling supplements. You personally don't know exactly how they're affecting you. So we really want to empower people to have that knowledge, to understand how things are affecting their brain, and then take that informed choice and do something to improve their brain health.
What do you think's been the most common finding or research finding that you guys have seen so far through some of the research already? That I think when you mention understanding the application of the cognition, like what do you think's been the biggest finding so far, and maybe one that maybe not many people are aware of that is definitely it's why that the app exists?
So a lot of the findings that we're going to derive are going to come after we have a larger critical mass of people on the platform. Because Cerebrum works in two ways. We have our translational neuroscience research, where we're doing research into drugs and pharmacology, and the cognition and cortex, these are the consumer-facing applications, which are just basically coming out right now. So as we get more people using the platform, we're going to get interesting findings from that brain data. That will probably be coming in 6 months or a year because we need the mass of people using the platform first. But from the translational neuroscience side, some of the interesting findings that we're getting are that mitochondria, for example, can help affect neurodegeneration, and looking at ways to have novel ways to affect your mitochondria in a pill or pharmaceutical form uh, can potentially affect and improve neurodegeneration. Now, a lot of these things are still in the early stages, so we haven't published research results because a lot of our research projects haven't gone to completion yet. And we don't want to present initial findings until we finish the data analysis and verify it. And with our human clinical trial, this is the same thing. I mean, we'll do the data collection, and then we'll publish the findings at the end of the study.
Wanted to kind of understand a little bit of the roadmap beyond Web3. You mentioned that several times, and as now I start listening to the app and start listening to the research that you're looking to do, where do you guys start tapping into Web2? How does that look like? Is it working maybe like with universities, or is there some way that you guys are looking to get involved? Is there a particular niche market there that this you guys are targeting right now outside of Web3? Oh, I think I might have lost Mark. Mark, you there? I didn't mute myself, right? Oh, I think I lost Mark. While I bring back Mark, again, for those tuning in, appreciate you guys tuning in. Sorry for the internet connections. It's Monday, and there's always something new with X as well. So just navigating the beauty of being in 2026, all of us being remote and doing these interviews live. But while I wait and bring back Mark, I appreciate everybody. Make sure you hit the follow. Make sure you give a comment. Share this. We're doing these once or twice a week. We've been trying to bring on everybody that's building within the DeSci sector. So if you know a project that's looking to build, if you know a project that's looking to get involved, please send us a DM, tag them. Would love to bring them onto the show. Love to learn more about what they're building and really see ways that we could help them spread the word, spread the message, bring more awareness to the space. I think that 2026 is definitely a massive year for all of us. And so I think that while we wait, while we see things are finally coming to clinical trials, human, all this stuff, man, it's really cool to be able to say, how early were we are we, and we were, and now we're seeing it. Some of these things are hitting Amazon. Some of the stuff is going live. Products are live, and these are the type of things that we get really excited about the DeSci market, because like we said before, we're going against $1 trillion industry, and I think science is definitely one that it's just the easy target for Web3. But Mark, well, hopefully I have you back now. I was just finishing up on the last thing. You've been mentioning a little bit about Web3 and moving outside of the Web3 sphere and looking at users outside of Web3. Love for you to give us some insights on what that looks like. Is it institutions, universities? What's that niche market target? Like who is it that would be best to target, especially for the research that you guys are doing?
So
I
one
think you're
thing
muted.
is connecting
Oh,
with patient groups, which we're starting to do. So there's a lot of patient groups already existing around neurodegeneration, rare diseases. We want to connect with those groups for Cortex, for example, and cognition, so that we can bring them in and create bridges with groups that are already working towards solving neurodegeneration from a type of grassroots approach, because we're really looking to amplify that. As a connected network organization or DAO, our goal is that we can be inclusive of many members from different parts of society, and we pool together to create solutions for neurodegeneration. So patient groups is one, biohackers and general early adopters is another, because these are people who are already cognizant of measurement of their brain or their body, and cognition and cortex can be a way to really help facilitate the collection of brain data. This is also done in partnerships with University of Texas, where we license through Xfonetics the Brain Health Index. This is a way to holistically measure your brain health longitudinally over time. So we're giving access to this type of technology, which you don't get from other sources. So we're looking for that to be a nexus point for bringing in people who recognize that if they measure their brain health, then they can learn how to affect it. So the patient groups and the biohackers, I think, are two initial verticals where we can connect to a large group of people with a common understanding of how we want to improve life. And then we want to basically start to branch out beyond that. So one of the concepts we're also building is Cerebrum, which is a brain health agent. And the goal here is to help people understand brain health as a concept. So really education through the Cognition Hub and our science articles, education through a health agent. This is something that people can understand and soak up information about. In many ways, it's similar to a lot of marketing of other products or concepts. It's just that we want to market brain health products and focus it on empowerment, as opposed to saying, just buy this supplement because this person used it. We want to put a lot of validity and science behind the decisions that we're making about our brains, and hope to spread that word throughout the world.
Thanks, Mark, for that. And I have to ask the $1 million question, because now you have me wondering or thinking, when is the Cortex app and everything, the hub all launching? Like, when is there a special date? It's Q1. You mentioned it earlier in the chat. But just is there something that we should kind of all be aware of, so that we have our calendar sync correctly, and we take the day off?
So Cognition, I think we're definitely going to get that out before end of January. Also, the first iteration of Cortex should be before end of January. And the first Cortex app iteration is going to be focused on giving brain data through a survey, a brain health survey that we developed, and make it super easy for anyone to set up an account, which in the background also includes a NEURON wallet. So, I'm sure many people have talked about this before, but one of the barriers to adoption of going from a Web3 person to a Web2 person is the idea that you have to set up a wallet, you have to set up a MetaMask, you have to fund it, you have to put in tokens before you can even start to interact with different applications. So with Cortex, we want to make it really easy for people to share their brain data, set up a wallet, everything happens in the background, super seamless, and then get NEURON. Now that they've got some NEURON, they'll be able to use it in the Cognition Store, and also to help to fund and to basically vote for new translational neuroscience projects that we're thinking about funding. And this all ties back into the strategy of reaching out to patient groups, because I want people to be able to feel active and participatory in developing these new solutions for neurodegeneration. So I'm definitely going to be sending out updates as they come, but I'm looking to get Cognition definitely before end of January, and Cortex V1 same time or shortly thereafter.
Awesome. Mark, if there is any projects that are building in the space or any researchers, what's the call to them to want to get involved or partner with you or help with the mission from a partner standpoint?
Mhm. So I think partnership, especially on funding, is interesting. Sometimes we're partnering with different groups where there may be a research project or a common research direction that we're trying to improve. And then researchers might be coming from a certain area or a certain group, and then we can review their research projects. So one part is just getting in contact. Also, it can be getting on our Discord where we discuss brain health and different research projects. And we're also looking to get out more into the research congresses in 26, so that we're connecting directly to neuroscience researchers in the natural space. So usually, you go to some big neuroscience conferences, and they're looking to hold workshops, reach out to those groups, reach out to those research orgs, so that we can basically create partnerships around funding, because it's all about going to a common direction of how we're solving neurodegeneration, and then also giving opportunities to researchers who might be underfunded. And I think we've got a couple of projects coming out where they're coming from different regions of the world, like South America, where traditionally they might not have access to as much funding as you would have through the NIH in the United States. So I think also in Q1, you're going to see a couple of projects coming out through the funding pipeline that are going beyond pharmacological, also going into neurotechnology, and kind of showing how we can bring new funding to different areas of the world.
No, I think that's the most exciting part, is being able to see the growth, and congratulations to you guys and your whole team to be able to get to where we are today. And I think, massive shout out to your 2025 year, but I'm excited to do this in a year from today and look back at 2026 as well, and kind of see all the things that did go live and the learnings from it, the success from it, what also went wrong, what also went right, Mark, appreciate you guys coming on. We will love to make sure that we when the product does go live at the end of January or beginning of February, please let us know. We'd love to share it with everybody that's within our ecosystem and our partners and our friends. To everybody that's also watching, make sure you go give them a follow. Make sure you go sign up. Now, to sign up for it, is it on the website, or is there a particular website? Do you want to give us kind of where to make sure we all sign up?
Sure. So it's Cerebrum DAO / Cortex. You can basically go there, log in, sign up. So first we do the sign up wait list, and then we can send information out to you when we're going live.
Awesome. Well, there you go. It's that easy. Thanks, Mark. And Mark, thanks for coming on to the show. I know that the internet's been a little buggy. I appreciate you just taking the time and still giving us all this alpha, still giving us kind of what's being built behind the scenes. And I think it's the coolest thing to see is, look, we have a lot to show for now. And I think that's where the light at the end of the tunnel is finally getting closer and closer. So really excited for year 2026. Thank you again for coming on, Mark. And I hope you have a great day, and thanks for everybody that tuned in. Make sure you give us a like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks again to another Monday.